found this interesting compilation of vintage, mostly luxury watches. It's from 2000, so it was made in 2008, 2009 with the pricing, market pricing for that time. So that's about 15 years ago. And there are several brands in there. Let me give you the list. I'll try to film them, at least a few of them, just close up like this. Perhaps it's not the best image, and I'm keeping the camera by hand, so it's going to move a little bit. But let me give you the list first. These are the brands that are in this catalog, and it gives you the prices again 15 years ago in US dollars. I don't know for which market. I'm not going to present all of them. Let's just go by alphabetical order. So obviously there are going to be some advertising in there. Actually, this is more like a text description and a few images. This is the alphabetical order. Alpina, I don't know if I pronounce them correctly always. 1935. There is a description for each of them. The price, again, price was 15 years ago about, and depends on the date. Mostly, I think all of them are mechanical, either manual, wind, or automatics. Perhaps, not sure what's better. Angelus, likely. So there is always a story about the company, the kind of advertising for the company, and the story is really interesting. So it dates. Sometimes it goes very, very a lot of back a lot of years. So I tried my best to film this. It's not that easy to film images, but you can tell some of the watches are really nice. Again, this is Angelus. I'm not sure what's better. So I'm going to point to the text first, so you pause and read, and then to the dial watch itself. So there's quite an obvious craftsmanship on many of them. As you can tell, look at the again, this is a photography. I'm basically filming a photography, so there's limitations. The light is not that perfect, so this is kind of a calendar, complete calendar, display date. Notice the year, 48, manual winding. Obviously, these are going to be watches, pictures from collections, basically. So most of these watches are not new when they were pictured. Audemars Piguet, this got to be perhaps a French persons, their factory. And I read this Royal Walk. It appears it was quite an innovation, 72, because of the case was stainless steel, which was not really usual for a luxury watch, but it was a big success. I'm not going to film every watch. Just look at this. The photography is also very nice, but look at it's gorgeous. I think the story is interesting as well. Price, it's high, 1949. Again, this is Audemars Piguet. if I get it right. Very classic. I will just maybe just put this into the video, although it's not really. I don't have a authority to say these things, but just my take. So let's see this watch here. So it's going to be a white or gold dial and silver gold hands. Just my experience with this. This is not an easy watch to read, the hour that is. So if you just check your wrist and to take the time, to take the hour, it depends on the light conditions, on the moment on the day, or depends on the room. The hands, when they are kind of silver, goldish, so it's not a big contrast with the dial. At certain conditions, light conditions, is difficult to read or impossible, especially when there is a lot of sunlight. So if you see, my watch is very different. It's a quartz. It's a, what is it? Elgin, but it's not the real company. But notice the hands. What I did paint them. I just took nail polish. Is that the right name? I just use the tip of the needle. It's not that easy, not too difficult, but I want to see the hour much easier. Okay, so let me see if I can get it into the shadow, because look how beautiful this is. I'm guessing this is some gold plated or rhodium plated. I don't know. 1942, a classic. Look at the dial. Is such. This is classic of the classic, I guess, of this kind. It does say the calibers. I have no idea about these things. The size of the watch is here if you want. So it doesn't say if it's plated. It appears this was quite a. So again, we are with Audemars Piguet. Quite a surprise, this kind of watch. Usually there is a small story someplace. Price accordingly. I'm trying just to pick the ones that to my taste, which is very subjective. Look more kind of, I don't know, different, or have some specific design to them. Baume Mercier, again, I guess by the name would be French. Victor Baume, Paul Mercier. Very interesting watch. Imagine this was 1945. Back in the days, I guess that would be automatic from 1945. So fairly old. Automatic is not the oldest, but very interesting. This may be a lady's watch. 45. Let's move on. Rare calendar watch. Nice blue dial. This one looks, it does not sort of stand out, but the design is just beautiful. So well put together. When we say design of the watch, I'm not into the business, but you see, it looks, some may say perfect. I don't like to say perfect, but the whole dimensioning looks so balanced. That's because every little dot, every little distance in all the directions, the lines of each digit, everything, it's very nicely placed. It's not just about this line or that line, it's really about the assembly of the design. I was going to say picture. Rattling. I guess we're going to see a lot of chronometers here. 35. 35. This is pre-Second World War. I don't know, it looks very modern to me. It's quite impressive. Chronograph, it says early chronograph with 45-minute counter. Some are going to pass faster on them. $1949. Very, very nice dial. Wow. Looks... I don't know what's rhodium plated. I don't know, rhodium, is this going to be more expensive finish, or it simply gives it a better look? Look at the hand. Wow, this is crazy. That's a later one, 79. $21,000. These are not the most expensive ones by any means, although doesn't mean they are cheap. You'll see when we reach other brands, it goes on a different level of pricing. 1945, very beautiful dial, again, very well balanced. And notice the black hands on whitish dial, easier to see. Gold hands on black dial, again, easier to see. And some of these are just, again, I guess if you see them in real life, the aesthetics of it is just, it's special. It's special. 1960 Breitling, again, it's still very, very nice, and I would say classic design. 75. Something similar, not exactly similar, has another display at the bottom. Orange, reddish hands, always just have the display popping colors, basically. Let's see, there's still a lot of them. I'm going to just pick a few of these, which appear more different than others. If you want, I may do a video just filming all the watches from one brand. Just maybe put a comment if you want. Red. Very nice, very, very nice. This. I don't know how you call this. I know there is a name for this. It looks a bit strange. And the hands are almost black. Of course, there's kind of luminescent, but I don't think it's that visible. This one was 66, very classy. This one, 69. What's up next? Cartier. Cartier is very classy. but at the same time very simple looking, but at the same time very, again, I would I would call this, maybe it's fooling a little bit, because I think modern watches, the cheap watches that you find in for, I don't know, $5-10, may tend to imitate these designs, because these designs are just everlasting. It's just like a classic, instant classic, I guess. That's the advertising for. I'm going to go perhaps faster with Cartier. I don't know if I say it properly. Certina, maybe Certina. Um, just going fast on this one. Oops, wind blowing. Just want to give you the text. Chrono Swiss. This appears to be more recent, but so this is, I would say, less vintage. The price is there though, so yes, it was a successful brand. Sima, let's go faster over Sima. Doxa, again this is Doxa. Beautiful design. Bernard and Company, Eberhard. I did read a little bit of the intros, the history, not for all of them. So it definitely gives you information about the brand and how it did evolve, how it did do on the market as well, how it did perform, what was the successful watches, sometimes revolutionary watches. Any car. Not all photos are that clear. So it's not always my camera that doesn't give you a nice image. Eterna, very classic looks. I have some chronographs. Interesting. Again, this is Eterna. Hopefully I'll say it correctly. So basically you just pause the video if you want to watch more. I don't know, Excelsior Park. Looks like it's an old brand. 40s. Beautiful dial. Very interesting. Notice how the glass, there's almost no edges here. I don't know what to call this. Around the glass goes almost all the way. And this is a 1940. This one doesn't say the size of it, but chronograph from 52. Gold, I would say not very gold, but the display is just gorgeous. Look at it. Look at the kind of shades on it. Quite impressive. 52. Notice the older watches, the size, it's smallish. That's how it was back then. Interesting. I'm not sure. There appears to be some. No, is that calendar in there? So again, 40s, something that looks very nice. Notice the pricing for 40s is not that high, but of course the movements are different and the more luxurious ones, but the looks may be still there or even better sometimes, depend on the taste. Girard Perregaux, I think I got it right. A very, very beautiful pocket watch from there. Look at the details, it's insane. Yep, let's show a few of them. Not too expensive. To me, it looks nice. Glass shoot maybe. Is that German? I would say so. Germany, Austria, around that place. Yes. Okay, it says Democratic Republic, so it's going to be the communist Eastern Germany. So this is perhaps I don't know if it was considered luxury watch back then, $200, or just regular but quality watches. Notice the year. So this is during the communist regime in Germany, Eastern Germany, the democratic one. It's funny they call themselves democratic ones, but that was the dictatorship one. Interesting design. Simple, functional, just like this one. No, not this one. This one. Simple, functional. Just exactly what you would expect a watch to be. Okay, so this is the same. Seeing some more. Yes, more luxurious one, gold plated in Eastern Germany. That's impressive. Maybe these were meant for the nomenclature people, you know, the politicians and stuff, or maybe celebrities, like movie celebrities, singers. I know in Russia, in communist Russia, there was the same thing going on. Hamilton. Some more fancier watches, gold plated, were given to the party members, important party members. Beautiful design. 1973. This looks more like older ones. Is that diamonds? Look at this design. Wow. That's something. Electric. This is not mechanical. I never heard. Hanhard, 1935. Maybe watches. Not sure how luxury with this, but some of them may have got into World War II on the field, I mean. Nice design. Look at this. Okay. Hewer. I don't know. Maybe this is the the later Tag Tag Heuer, yes, I guess. Tag, probably I'm not spelling it correctly. 1940. 45 chronographs. Very classic design. Notice it says Leonidas, perhaps was done for a different brand or so, I'm guessing. Wow, how beautiful this is. Okay, I think with this brand there's quite a few to show. 45, wow. Let's skip a little bit, but 1950, I don't know which one to pick. There's more, I guess. Tag. I'm not sure it's Tag Heurer, but Heurer for sure at that time. Let's try this chronograph. Look at this. Wow. 1960. Beautiful. Really beautiful. So yes, there are a lot of them. Heurer. '73. Interesting. Daring square subdials. 75. I might get a more clear image. IWC. I don't know who this person is, but look at this watch. 1920 date. Art Deco, but quite. I do like these things when it's different. Then they have it's the same IWC. Look at this. It's crazy how simple and beautiful it's at once. It's just, I don't know how they do it. Placing the dots, the type of digits, the size of the digit, the spacing between them is just I want to say perfection, but I don't know, close. Assuming there's no such thing as perfection. Look at this, such a classic look. 1942. The same IWC, maybe I guess some of you will know what this brand was about. Personally, the names that I know are from looking on eBay basically. So I didn't see this or somehow didn't catch my attention the name of it, but perhaps it was a big brand because it did made a lot of watches. Let's pass some faster. Oh, it's still the same brand. They were like No, I don't know. Again, this is supposedly Switzerland. Perhaps it's a French name. Yai, Le Coutre, that's okay, but the Jager perhaps? Jager would be German side of Switzerland, and Le Coutre would be the French side, because Switzerland, it's both German and French. I'll have you look at this one, 1935, special order. That's as much as I can film. I'll try to get a different angle perhaps. And this is the information, and also maybe notice the pricing. Interesting. 1935 again. A lot of beautiful and different displays than the competition, or at least from this catalog. This is very creative and also daring. Just by adding different colors, gives you a different aspect. 1940, very beautiful color. This looks more like gold, like watch dial. Yes, this is a small watch, not 34. It's not that small. It looks small, but it's not small. And then there are chronographs. Let's film a few of them. 1940, look at this. 1940, wow. Wow. I just, you just want to look at it basically. 1950. Let's try to toast my with a different light. An alarm watch, again for Jaeger LeCoultre, 1960. Like this design here, a chronograph. 50. I'm not sure that I did show you this one. Get a better view of this watch. And this one, did I show you? Yes, I think I did. I'm going to skip this one, Judanas. Let's try to move on. Lange and Son. It's a factory. Very, very nice art deco, I guess. 36. The glass is round. Imagine how this would look on in real life. Lemania Longinus or Longinus. Let's try to film a few of them. 53. Interesting shape. 48. Diamonds. Very nice look. Art Deco, I guess. Interesting. These kind of designs are still attractive. This is 1925. 100 years later, at least to my taste. So again, Longinus or Longinus. I have a few chronographs here. 1934. 34. I don't know when chronograph started. 1930, not a chronograph. So this is going to be an early one. 1925. Again, this is Longinus or Longinus. 25. 30 is there. 25 again. Interesting. 36. Imagine this dial back then must have been quite impressive. The same Longinus. Very classy dial, very, very classy. 1945. There are several of them, of course. The same Longinus. Longinus again. I would guess 1970 something. Yes, 1975. Classic 1970s. Mido, hopefully I say it fine, Minerva. I didn't see a lot of Minerva on internet, but maybe that's just my eBay searches that didn't show results. Very, very nice. But also not very easy to read in direct sunlight in real life. 1940. Minerva again. Movado. 1920, right? So, very old. 1930. Is this 1930? It's about the end of Great Depression. 1930. About. Again, this is Movado. 1950. Let's move on. Another Movado. The last one. 70s. Big chunk on your left hand. I think that's a yeah, fairly large, but perhaps thick and heavy. Ulysse Nardin. Maybe these are more European brands, which may, when I search on eBay, we don't see them because I'm in Canada. So eBay will give me perhaps mostly listings from Canada, Northern America, basically. So I don't see a lot of European brands which were sold mostly 1925, which was sold mostly in Europe. Another 1925 early chronographs. This one 30, but very, very nice. 1930. This is before Second World War. when we watch the let's wait for my camera to focus. When we watch footage like black and white movies from these times, so everything is black and white, and oftentimes if it was a camera filming on the street, it would be also silent, no sound recorded, except for movies. Well, we'll see everything, it's black. Even the cars appear to be black, and people wearing black and shades of gray and white. But the real life was this. I'm talking about 20s, 1920s, 30s, 40s. There were a lot of colors there, right? So it's not, obviously, it wasn't going to be, again, this is Ulysse Nardin. It wasn't going to be everything black and white in real life, but just watching the watches from that era, you realize there were a lot of colors. Very interesting. I prize French designers up to maybe 1970s. I think they were very skilled with both engineering and design. I think the French people had a lot of talent. They're very talented. Let me just move more into a shadowy area. French people were very talented, very talented. I'm just curious about cars, so if you watch French cars from the 50s, 60s, Citroën was very technologically advanced. 1925, wow, wow, just wow. I just cannot say something else. Crazy, this is crazy. 25, this is 100 years old. Basically, this is a few years after the First World War. Imagine this. 7 years, the end of World War One. Again, this is Ulysse Nardin. Look at this. Wow, it's crazy. 45. So I was saying about the French people, the skills they got, the talent they got. I don't think it's today the same. Unfortunately, something got lost in the 1980s, 90s, and from then on, that's how it is. It's missing the date here. A small printing mistake. But yes, if you look at this, the details here of the case, and look at this one, how it looks. Such a beauty. It's really stunning. Ulysse Nardin. Let's move on. Maybe there are a few still. Ulysse. I think we say that Ulysse. Interesting. 65. Not expensive. 1980. Yeah, not the best image. I apologize, but I think it's. Let me just try to move again. Very interesting dial. And I'll let you read. Value is 4,000. Read the complications. Nevada. Is that the Che? I don't know. I think, or maybe this is Castro, right? Not sure which one. That was their advertising. And some interesting display dials, more modern, I guess. Oh, they were in 1948 as well. Now we got into Omega. I know there are people who are interested by this brand. Try to film a few of them. Not too expensive. So these are kind of early ones. $300. Well, these are going to be maybe slightly older Omega. Curious about the pricing. Is that the pricing a bit different in 2025? I'm not sure I did film this. 1927. Maybe this is a ladies. Oh no, it's a man. But small. Look at this. 2 centimeters width. That's slightly less than 1 inch width. So it was not a big watch. 35. Black dial. Beautiful. 1940. 1927. We have 48. Very nice design. 1952. So let me pick a few. 1946. Wow, crazy. 46 as well. Maybe this one. 1950. Very small. A special order maybe. Okay, so there's a lot of them, obviously. 66. Interesting. Installation. 66. Very nice. Very, very nice. It is beautiful. Okay. Getting chronometers from Omega. 77. An old chronometer. 46. How nice. An old chronograph. I call this chronometer for some reason. 31. This one I've done it. There's really a lot of them. I'm going just to try to Speedmaster chronograph automatic. Not so easy to film, but gorgeous display. Really nice. FIFA 1970. First, let's try this one. 69. Now the prices are gone a little bit high. Oh, that's interesting. This marine chronometer. 75. Panerai prices are, you'll see, start climbing. 1943, 60 grams. 1940, I don't know why the prices are so expensive. I guess these are very collectible. That's the price of a good car. Philippe Patek, or Patek Philippe. And I guess we may just not think about the pricing on these units. It's interesting to read their story as well. Look at the I guess the sheet that comes with the watch. I'm not sure what the years is. I cannot tell you here. 19, oh, it's in 1990 something. And yet, I guess these are calibration numbers, or I don't know. Quite impressive, right? So it's not your regular brand. I don't know about Patek, other than they are very expensive, like very expensive, among the most, I guess. But perhaps is their precision, craftsmanship, manufacturing, and complications, or just basically accuracy. '47. Okay, let's see what the last one. '95. Any guessing on the price? Whoops. A 95 one. Okay, but there can be worse, right? You can have two of these for the price of this. 49. Well, at least for collectors. Patek Philippe again. I don't know which one to pick. Let's try this one, more different. Very interesting, man. Basically, I'm watching on the camera display, on camera screen, so I try to I try to, I don't know, to understand the details, just like you do when you watch this video. 27. An inexpensive Patek watch. Interesting. Look at the classy design. Was this? I think it was just like Cartier. Notice the year 1918. I wonder about the price. Well, affordable for a Patek watch, I guess. 1913. Such a, I don't know, it's like a painting basically. It's daring, and it's a success. It's not a failure. That's, I guess, what you would expect from such a brand. Very, very nice design, and it's not the only one. Let me see. This is such a timeless classic. You see on eBay, I think there are many who did copy this kind of design. I mean, into the small dimensioning thing. Plenty of other brands. I don't know if they copied from Patek Philippe, or if Patek Philippe did copy from them. 1940. And look at the glass. I like this thing. The glass is more like one of those Samsung phones that you got. I don't know which one. It's S, maybe 10 or so. Got full glass and the sides round glass. It looks a little bit like that one. There is more and more Patek Philippe. Extremely rare. When I say extremely rare, you know the price is going to be accordingly. So beautiful. These are very, very well preserved watches as well, right? Because it's perhaps also cleaned, but still. Let's move on. I think the thing that doesn't really show in a picture, basically in any picture, is the shape of the glass. And you see, kind of, you already guess it's rounded, but I think in real life it's going to be just impressive when it's well done. In a picture, it's less so, in a sense that you don't really see that detail. So yes, it goes on and on. Reddish, very clean dial. At this point, it looks to me let's see, the camera doesn't focus properly. They mix the years, but it's more I don't know. There's not a lot of difference between these watches. See, the camera will focus. Okay, she's back. There's not a lot. They mostly, to my eyes, it's still Patek Philippe. To my eyes, these watches look pretty much the same. So I find it, if you look at the cost, 50. This one cheaper, perhaps um, the movement it's better, but I don't know. Just my eyes, they look pretty much the same. Piaget, if I say it correctly. Very interesting. Look at this thing here. Okay, Pierce, I don't know, but it looks it's a brand fairly old. How nice is this thing? 1940. I can only imagine how the people would see this back in the days. Fairly spectacular. 1940. Wow. Not too expensive record. So by the pricing, it doesn't look very high-end brand, but I can tell you that the design is very smooth and nice. I mean, I don't know, but at least by a picture, looking at a picture, you cannot really make a distinction between this much less expensive brand and a much more expensive one. If they look the same, is the same similar kind of dial, but I guess in person you will see the differences, and obviously there's going to be the movement as well. It comes into game, but it's still nice record. No way it was done. Doesn't say the country. I don't know which country is it, but I think it's very, very nice looking, and I'm not judging it by the cost. It's just by the looks, and it stands side by side with the better brands, definitely, at least from a photo. The looks, that is. I'm guessing the movement, it's not on pair. 55. Wow, very interesting. Rolex Oyster. So it I don't know. It's very how do you say that? In your face is very punchy. the looks are very stunning. A lot of details. It's very different than the Omega ones. It's much more, I don't know, loaded with details.